Welcome back to Morning Joe. Joining us from Capitol Hill, Congressman Eric Swalwell of California. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi nominated him to co-chair the Democratic and Policy Committee ahead of tomorrow's leadership elections. He is supporting Pelosi in her bid to remain leader of House Democrats. So I guess, first of all, sir, Congressman, make the case for Nancy Pelosi staying as leader, given everything that's happened.
Well, thank you, Mika and Joe. There's a lot of progress to defend that we've made over the last 10 years under her leadership with the Affordable Care Act, with the work we've done on climate change and standing up for working families. But also, there's new opportunities that she's given to younger leaders. I came to Congress. I'm a millennial, the first in my family to go to college. I've got $100,000 in student loan debt, and she sent me right to work to take our youngest House Democrats to 31 cities across the country under a group I chair called Future Forum. And she's shown me great responsibility and given me and many others a lot of opportunities to lead. And we're going to need many young leaders at her side in the fights ahead.
Congressman, it's Willie Geist. It's good to see you this morning. I understand your support for Nancy Pelosi. I respect your support for Nancy Pelosi. But do you understand the argument that Tim Ryan is making in opposition to her, which is that the Democratic Party failed, at least in this presidential election and down ballot as well, but perhaps back even farther than that, to connect with the kind of voters who elected Donald Trump in areas like where Tim Ryan represents, Youngstown, Ohio?
Willie, House Democrats certainly didn't fail. In fact, if you look over the last 14 presidential elections, over 54 years, only one time did the party whose ticket at the top lost win more seats than Nancy Pelosi. We picked up 6 seats in the House. That actually defies recent history. And so I don't think you punish our leader because the top of the ticket lost.
But do you understand the point he's making about some of the voters that the Democratic Party has lost over the last few years?
And I don't blame that, and I don't think most of my colleagues blame that on Nancy Pelosi. Our message of making sure we have Wall Street reform, that we're standing up for working families, that's going to connect voters across the country, and I think we have to make sure that we understand, why the top of the ticket lost those voters, and make sure that we pick up those seats for House Democrats. And I have all the faith in the world that Leader Pelosi is going to help us do that, as she led that fight as the opposition leader during the Bush years.
Well, Congressman, why do you think the Democrats have been losing their majority consistently in the House over the last 3 elections? What message? There must be a flaw in the message. You're not reaching the target group that built the Democratic Party.
Sure, and I also look at the 6 million people who showed up in 2012 for President Obama but did not show up this time. And so we need to make sure that the people who believe in us, that they're also showing up and believing that they can help shape what's next. So just going back to our own base, I think that's also something we need to do. I'm interested in making sure that the millennials, this is the best educated, most diverse, largest generation ever, that they believe also that they can be a part of shaping the freedom to dream for all Americans, and that's the work ahead.
Michael Steele, jump in.
Hey, Congressman, real quick, to be honest, you look more like the face of where the Democrats say they want to go. How do you reconcile that? You're bringing this, Nancy's bringing you onto the ticket, we get that. But how do you reconcile going forward when you're trying to talk to millennials who've made it very clear that they want the party to go in a different direction? Is this leadership going to be able to make that kind of a pivot? Or are you the voice that's really going to be out in front of this, or is it really going to be Nancy Pelosi?
It's not going to be just me, Michael, and it's going to be people like Sherry Bustos from Illinois, and people like Matt Cartwright from Pennsylvania, and Hakeem Jeffries from Brooklyn, who Leader Pelosi has also nominated to help her in this leadership effort ahead.
All right, Congressman Eric Swalwell, thank you very much. We'll see what happens. Thanks for being on the show this morning. And